You know what time it is. It's our favorite Reddit section.
I fucked a dog.
No.
What? I've never been there.
I have been there actually. Well, for that particular line.
All right. So, am I the asshole for telling my family to stay out of me and my fiance's financial agreement? Fiance and financial be fucking me up.
It was hard.
Right?
It was hard. I would have done the same shit, dude.
And that if they keep bothering me, they can't come to the wedding anymore.
Yeah, fuck off.
Let me guess. Is she like giving all her money to him?
No.
The baby's mamas are coming. And
nope. It's a financial thing. It's a financial thing that their parents aren't cool with, all right? All right, so here we go.
Oh.
I was way off.
So, my fiance and I have a large wealth discrepancy. My grandparents gave me and my sister a large amount of money when they died, and I have a much higher paying job than him. He works just as hard as me, he just gets paid less. The way our finances work right now is I pay most of our day-to-day expenses, but he gets me nice birthday and Christmas presents. Last Christmas, he got me a really beautiful necklace that he wouldn't have been able to afford if I made him pay rent on the apartment. So he contributes just as much as he normally would if he paid rent, but this makes me feel better. The rent doesn't suddenly cost more because he lives there. I was paying it by myself anyway. My parents pestered me to explain to them how he was paying half the rent on our apartment with his job because he shouldn't get paid enough to afford it while also buying everything else he does. I finally told them a few months ago that he doesn't pay the rent. They basically had a meltdown over it and told me to break up with him. Don't go through the wedding, etc. So I called them over Mother's Day, and they spent the whole time asking if I had started making my fiance pay rent. I finally got sick of it and told them no, to butt out, and if they keep pestering me about our personal finances that they couldn't come to the wedding. They had another meltdown and said that I was horrible for even bringing up the possibility that I wouldn't invite them to the wedding. Was that threat too far? I mean, my mom called me crying today, apologizing and basically groveling to come, and now I feel like shit. Am I the asshole?
She's kind of an asshole.
You think the wedding part is too
messy?
Well, for me, it's like, two. I see a lot of different layers to this, right? So the first one, obviously, it sounds like her parents are pretty traditional, and they see it as the man should be taking care of the woman. Obviously, the daughter doesn't see it that way. She seems to be happy. She seems to like that dynamic. That's cool. But she also failed to see that, like, her parents care about her, and it's coming from a good place. She doesn't have to be so extreme and be like, "You can't come to my wedding." It's like she could just be like, "Hey, like, I'm happy. This is what I want to do." Like.
Oh, but parents are so annoying, though.
They are annoying, but what's really gonna happen? What are they gonna do? You know what I mean? They can't stop her.
They're literally like, hey, you cannot marry this guy. But if you do, we better get an invite.
Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. Yeah. They're like, you gotta call off the wedding because he's not paying the rent.
But it's, yeah, but I feel like, I mean, it's coming from a place of like, they just want to take care of her.
So do you think
but they want her taking advantage of him? They don't want.
That's not what they said. They just.
No, but if he had a higher paying job, they wouldn't have said anything.
Well, I think they're probably.
Oh, you're right.
I think they're probably seeing it as like, this is our daughter, because they sound very traditional, and they're like, we want to make sure our baby's taken care of, and we don't have to worry about her well-being.
Oh, she's got money. She's got a high paying job.
Yeah. She can afford to pay for the whole thing herself, and it doesn't seem like it hurts at all.
It doesn't seem like she's paying for all this shit except like the rent and stuff, but he's effortlessly, with the amount of money he's making, he's trying to help out. He's trying to buy her gifts and like show appreciation to her, and she seems to like those types of gifts.
I think she sucks at answering too.
True.
To her parents?
But she also said, the part that like stuck out to me too, they were like, wait, how can he afford to buy everything that he buys and then still pay rent? So like they might be seeing it as he's recklessly spending.
But I mean, is he avoiding the rent, or she's just like, oh yeah, I just never asked?
Don't worry about it. Right?
No, so in here, it says that the money that he would have spent on rent, it goes to her Christmas gift, and it goes to her birthday gift.
So it goes to her, yeah.
So
it
literally goes to her, but I'm thinking, shouldn't those things be independent from each other?
Well, here's the thing, right? So what if she's like, oh, don't pay rent at all. And he's like, oh, I want to, but
That
she
could
doesn't
be
let
for
me.
sure, yeah.
So I'll just buy her things
Yeah,
to
but
try to
that's
even
not
out in the
specific.
There's no way
himself,
she said
right?
that. I wish the guy
Could
should
be.
say that.
It could be.
Yeah, they could be.
Please don't pay rent. Please buy me a bunch of bottles.
No, she's not saying the second half, but she could be like, oh, I've been living independently for so long.
Yeah, she's probably like, I don't need it, because it was stated
It's her
there.
place that
'cause
she's been
like,
paying rent.
You here or not, it's not changing how much I would be paying. So she's like, I don't really care.
It's like, why split the bill?
Yeah, if I had a girlfriend that wanted to move in, and like say I already lived at the spot, and I wanted her to come.
Sorry. No. Keep going. I'm not even.
It's hilarious. You want to have a girlfriend? Go ahead. That's fucking funny shit.
unbelievable.
That's fucking funny.
Nadeem, it has nothing to do with what you were talking about.
I like how you made him stop dead in his tracks.
Wait, say it again. Say it again. Okay.
Girlfriend, go say it.
All right, we're ready. We're
One
ready.
more time.
No, we'll skip past that. And I wanted her to move in.
That's funny.
Insanity. This guy's a maniac. You can't stop him.
Cool.
I wasn't even laughing to your statement.
What were you laughing at then?
He had his own thought in his own head.
okay.
He wasn't even listening to you. That's the point.
That's a very Joe thing to do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're not even in the room right now.
All right, so don't laugh what I'm about to say. I'll try not to either.
We're fucking wasting film.
Try not to laugh. Here we go.
And then I wanted her to move in.
I couldn't stop.
That's funny shit.
But say there was a girl that wanted and I wanted to move in, and she was like, oh, like it's fucked up, I can't afford it. But I'm like, no, I'm already here. Like I don't want. You wouldn't have to pay as much as I am.
It sounds very feasible.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do the same thing as she was doing to him.
True. I think the parents are like kind of having like a power, like dynamic thing. Like they want the daughter to be with someone
Yeah, those
of
traditional
equal
values.
status or more, right? And then this guy is well below what they thought she'd go after. And
Yeah.
It's
they're
crazy.
tripping
Like
on that.
all these traditional families, like every generation looks
I
at their
hate it.
kids like the same way that her parents are looking at her. So how is she gonna look at her kids, and what are they gonna be doing?
She might be
Someone's
the change.
got to break the cycle.
Yeah, she might be the change.
I feel like maybe they're worried that he's conning her.
Maybe.
And,
yeah.
he's freeloading off of her.
Yeah.
Because they don't even ask, like, you know, like anything else, but is
They're
he paying the
assuming
rent?
everything.
Yeah, they're just like, is he paying half the rent? He should pay half the rent. And she also sucks at explaining, saying like, well, we have an agreement where half of that money that's supposed to go to rent just goes to my necklace, and because I want these nice things and shit.
Maybe she doesn't say it like that.
I feel
to
like that
her
would make it
parents.
worse for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Still doesn't make sense economically, right? What kind of job does he have?
So
I
they're
know.
saying, okay, so he could have paid you, but you'd rather have necklaces?
Yeah, then it makes it kind of materialistic a little bit, and it's kind of like weird.
I would personally be pissed off if, okay, let's say that I don't get fair equal value and they're out there buying a lot of shit for themselves.
Also for
She
you.
did say that
Yeah.
in there. That's why I was like, yeah, she kind of sounds like an asshole a little bit.
Who's buying shit for themselves?
In there, she says that her parents questioned her and her dude because they were like, wait, how does he get to buy all this shit for himself?
Yeah.
But he doesn't, and afford rent with what he.
Oh no, he
Where's the
doesn't pay
asshole
rent.
part?
Straight
I'm
up.
confused.
Yeah, that's what.
He doesn't pay rent.
Wait, what was the asshole part that you were saying that makes her the asshole with that?
No. I think we moved past that.
No, so it sounds like this dude is kind of selfish because not only does he not pay rent, he's out here buying all these fun things for themselves. So that part stood out to me. They didn't specify what he's buying, but the parents are they're like pestering to explain to them how he's paying half of their stuff on the rent, because how's he affording this while also buying everything else he does? So what are everything else he does?
can buy whatever he
How do
wants,
they know
right?
Well,
so
he
much
can't.
about his expenses?
Maybe he posted on his Instagram.
know.
Maybe they asked
Like,
them.
when
Or they
How
came
much
over
he
and they're like,
makes
Say nice things.
he has a new Gucci purse.
Yeah.
But then also about like what he does for work and how much he makes there.
I mean, it could come up in casual
Yeah.
conversation, like.
Well, how much do you make?
Yeah, you're a
mean,
manager at a grocery store.
If he's buying a
Oh.
fucking Rolex every week, right? Because obviously it sounds like she has a very large wealth discrepancy. She has a huge fucking amount of money when their grandparents died, right? So what if the inheritance is like massive and he's out here trying to live it up to that luxury world?
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, he's trying to catch up with her.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And he
actually.
might be buying a Rolex every month, and her parents are like, how does he do this as a fucking moccasin sewer or something?
Dude, can you imagine if you're like your girlfriend is like some daughter of a billionaire or some shit? Can you imagine the shit that you would have to try to do to impress her ass?
True. One of our friends had a really rich girlfriend, and it didn't work out because they were just so massively rich, and he couldn't just keep up. Yeah.
What did he do?
Well, he was a good little prince that was taken care of, like first class tickets to Asia, all this stuff, and he started to feel like inadequate.
Yeah.
I say bitch.
Sure.
Because to me, it's like I wouldn't feel that way. I'd feel like I won the lotto.
Right, you'd think. But dude, people who win the lotto blow it.
This is like Crazy Rich Asians.
No, Crazy Rich Asians. Like the one with Ali Wong.
Crazy Rich Asians.
No, that's
No, Ali Wong is another one.
the romantic comedy on Netflix.
I know what you're talking
She's
about.
the one that's rich.
Always Be My Babies?
Yeah, always be my baby. Yeah, so then she's the one that's always rich, and he feels inadequate because he doesn't have enough money.
Hey, and it's even worse for a dude because of how we're raised.
Masculinity.
Yep.
Yeah.
That fucks with people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but this guy doesn't seem to have a problem with it though.
No.
Definitely not.
It seems like two consenting adults doing their consenting
does.
lives.
It does. That's why, for me, I was feeling a little bit like she's not understanding where her parents are coming from and the era that they come from. So for her to snap back as hard as she did, without really seeing what their intent is.
Where do you feel like, how would you bridge that gap for your parents?
I would really try to look at how they were raised, right? So that I can understand their mindset, and then I can see what they're really trying to tell me, opposed to just listening to their words.
But then how would you try to make your parents okay with it? Because they don't want you to get married, and you're about to be married.
Yeah, I mean, I would just tell them like, hey, like it's still ultimately my life, and you raised a good daughter, and you have to trust that what you instilled in me, I have it.
She sucks at explaining.
And like it's ultimately what I have to do.
Probably
you know
her
what I mean?
parents too. Her parents probably.
Yeah, like you have to speak like an adult. You know
But
what I mean?
sometimes, like, if you're, like, say Taika started dating this girl that was just using him for his money,
I'm fucking her ass up.
right? But then you can see it, but then Taika's like, no, I'm in love. We're just
He
in
has
love.
to fall on his face. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, you
we
let
have
him?
to. I have to.
Or you would tell him?
I have to, because I know that's the only way I learn. So for me to like hold someone's hand and like try to shelter them from shit, that's how my parents were.
Or
with
you
me.
just
So
do
for
a
me,
good
I'm
job
like,
of explaining. Maybe her parents, she's
not
bad
everyone
at,
learns like that. You know what I mean?
but I'm saying, like, maybe her parents could do a better job and she could do a better job too of explaining.
Everyone could do a
True,
better
you
job.
could try to change people, but how often does that work? You know what I mean?
It's better than just being like this and making you resent your parents.
I'd rather be like, fuck you, mom, and walk out the door. That'll show her.
I think that's what she's doing.